Hello guys and girls, my name is Levitee here. Welcome back to a different type of video. Now today we are going to be joining a new league and we're here to do a draft analysis slash recap of the team I picked for this league. So before we get into this, let me just go ahead and tell you some other things about the league. The team is called, the league is called the Distortion Battle League, of course. It is run by TJ. There are 16 teams in it, I believe. And there are 4 different divisions. I'm not sure if there's conferences in this. Let me look. Yes, there is. So there's 2 different conferences. One called the Dialga Conference. The other with the Palkia Conference, with 2 divisions in each conference. We are in the Dialga Conference, and we are in the Adamant Division. And my division is actually pretty fun with the teams that are in it. So we have all of these guys are good friends of mine. So we have BoxTurtleGaming, TJ and Ian. You guys should know TJ and Ian. You guys probably don't know BoxTurtle though, but yeah, I'm really excited to battle all these people, especially in my division, because these are all my friends. So it should be fun to battle with these guys. There was something else I wanted to say. Maybe there wasn't. Well, yes, I'll go over how the draft went. So the draft, you got 11 picks, not 12, and you got 400 free points with 4 free spots, and there was a mega pick, an E tier, D tier, C tier, and an A tier. So, but the way the tiers are actually set up was kind of interesting and pretty cool, I think. Basically, in each tier there were plus tiers, and plus tiers meant you can't be FA'd, and plus tiers are basically the good Pokemon in this. So for A tier, A plus Pokemon would have been like Landorus, Celesteela, Tapu Koko, and then like B tier, B plus Pokemon were Scolipede, Rotom Wash, Gliscor, Celebi, and so on and so on and so on. So it's pretty much just the better Pokemon of that tier, except E tier. E tier didn't have an E plus, but that's basically it on everything else. I guess we can go into the rosters now. So for my first pick, well, this wasn't my first pick, this was actually my mega pick. But for my mega pick, I decided to grab Mega Sableye. Now, I was originally wanted to get Mega Diancie, but that unfortunately got sniped, and I'll tell you why I got Mega Diancie in a bit. But honestly, I'm very happy with the team I have now with Mega Sableye. Basically, for this roster, I built a core around Mega Sableye, a really good core in my opinion. But I really wanted to use Mega Sableye in a league for a long time, and now we're finally going to get to use this thing in a league. A really good Pokemon in my opinion. It's a great wall. It can recover Will-O-Wisp and has the ability to set up. And if the opponent does not bring a Fairy type, this thing will not die. It will just sit on the field for such a long time, which is why this Pokemon is so good in my opinion. And one of the other really nice things about Mega Sableye is it can deter hazards, which is super nice for the A tier Pokemon I picked up, which is weak to rocks. And I actually feel like these 2 Pokemon fit really well together. I've really wanted to use Mega Sableye in a league for a long time though. Well, I wasn't even going to originally grab it this league. I was going to go for Mega Diancie, but that was sniped from me, so I decided, alright, let's just go with Mega Sableye. And honestly, I'm really happy to use this thing. I'm really excited to see what this thing can do. It looks like a really strong Pokemon on paper, but we'll see. And I definitely feel like I got a team that can support it, which is why I think it should be really strong on my team. But this thing has really good defenses with 115 special defense, 125 defense. If this thing had a higher HP, I don't think it would be OU. I think it would be Ubers. If it had like base 100 HP, I think it would 100% be Ubers again. But it is allowed in this league, and I'm excited I got to pick it up, and hopefully I can do some work with it. And if you guys know me, I do love bulky Pokemon, so yeah. I will say this, the team I drafted for this is extremely bulky. So my battles will probably be really long, but let's go ahead and go into my next pick here. So my next pick is an A tier. Now this Pokemon was actually my first pick in the round, because the way the draft went is you got to pick whichever Pokemon you wanted first from any tier. So most like other people, I decided to grab my A tier Pokemon first, and my A tier Pokemon, I was really shocked I got this thing. We got Kieran Black though. I've really wanted to use Kieran Black in a league for a long time. This thing is just so strong. And also, I didn't think I was going to get Kieran Black because I was last pick in round 1. So I really didn't think I was going to get Kieran Black, so I was a little bit bummed from that, but when it was getting closer to me, I was like, oh my god, this thing hasn't got picked yet. Am I really going to get this thing? And then it got to me, and I grabbed it. And I'm really excited to use this Kieran Black. This thing is also one of my Z users. Oh, I should probably say this. For Z users, they have a really cool concept. You get 2 offensive Z users, and hang on, let me find out what the name of the other Z user is. So the other one is called a Super Z user, and let me just read it off quick. A Super Z user can use any Z move besides Omni Boost. Como is an exception. An offensive Z move is basically what you think it is. You just get to use offensive Z moves. But for this, you get 2 offensive Z user picks. The second one had to be from tier 4 and below. So yeah, there's that. But I decided to make Kieran Black one of my offensive Z holders. This thing is honestly just a monster. It's a really good Scarf User with base 95 speed. And honestly, this thing is monstrous attack with 170. I made this thing my Z user just so I can take advantage of Icium Z. Because this thing doesn't get much physical ice coverage at all. I think the only physical ice move it gets is Free Shock. I could use that. I have used Power Herb, Free Shock, Kieran Black, and OU before, so maybe I'll do it in this league, but who knows. I'll probably just be using Icium Z, but I'm really happy I got to pick this thing up. And I don't even need to run this thing Scarf every week. I could run like Sub Roost, which is also really good, and it gets a lot of coverage. Earth Power for the Steel types. It gets Zen Headbutt, which is kind of type of cool. Stone Edge, Shadow Claw. So this thing gets a lot of stuff, and I think it pairs really well with Mega Sableye. Mega Sableye immune to the fighting type weakness that Kieran Black doesn't like, and also it deters rocks that Kieran Black also doesn't like, so I do feel like these two would be really strong together. But like I said, I was last pick for Kieran Black, and I didn't think I was going to get it, so I'm very happy I did. But let's go ahead and move on to my next pick. So the next tier we're going to be diving into is Tier B. I don't remember what pick I had for Tier B. I don't remember what round. Actually, I think I picked up this Pokemon round 3. I don't remember. But we decided to pick up Togekiss. Now, I actually got sniped a lot during this draft, and Togekiss wasn't the first fairy type I was looking at. First, it was Florges for Wish support, and then it was Clefable. Both of those got sniped for me, and before you say, oh, Levitee, why don't you just go for Sylveon? Sylveon was sniped before even Florges. Well, it wasn't sniped because I didn't really want Sylveon in the first place. But yeah, that was taken even before Florges, so there wasn't an option. So Florges and both Clefable were taken, and I was like, ah, crap. All the bulky fairy types are gone. And I was looking around, I was like, you know what? Togekiss actually is still available, so I'm going to get and scoop it up. This would also give me a Defogger, which pairs with Kieran Black pretty well too, getting rid of the rocks that he doesn't like. But one of the things I hate about Togekiss is that I hate facing it in League, so it's kind of ironic that I picked it up now. I won't have to face it, I'll get to use it for myself, but this Pokemon can be really good. As you can tell, my team is pretty good defensively. Even Kieran Black has pretty good defenses, and Togekiss is no exception, with base 115 special defense and 85 HP. And its defense stat is pretty good too with 95. But this thing can be run many ways, in offensive or defensive. I get things like Heal Bell, Go to Recovery with Roost. All the Pokemon I picked now have Recovery with Recover, Roost, and Roost. But like I was saying, Togekiss can be run offensively as well with Nasty Plot. It gets a lot of coverage too, like Flamethrower. Let's see, Shadow Ball, Single Beam. Try Attack, that's pretty cool. I can also use this thing for screens. I'm pretty sure it gets Light Screen and Reflect. There's Reflect. Yes, it does, so I could use this thing as a screen holder. I actually think I'll be using Togekiss more offensively, just because of how defensive my team is. I'll probably end up using this thing more offensive, but the main things you'll be doing with Togekiss is roosting, heal belling, U-turning, air slash spam, just trying to flinch really. But yeah, like I said, this thing, I tried to avoid facing this thing in leagues, but now that I got to pick it up, I'm pretty happy that I could. Now I can do the flinching instead of me getting flinched. And Togekiss fits really well with this team, I think, especially with a few of the picks I have lined up. I really do think it kind of fits a little bit better than both Florges and Clefable. I really wanted Florges though, especially for the Wish support. But honestly, I'm not angry that I got Togekiss. Wasn't my first option, but it's definitely a good option at that. So then, coming into the next tier, we have tier C, and we got 2 picks from this one. And I really wanted to use this Pokemon, but for tier C, our first pick, we decided to grab Porygon 2. Porygon 2 fits really well with Mega Sableye. A lot of people use Chansey Mega Sableye core, but I personally wanted to use Porygon 2 Mega Sableye because, I don't know, it just looks a lot cooler in my opinion, and Porygon 2 is so bulky with the Eviolite, and Porygon 2 can also be run offensively, but you're most likely going to be running this thing defensively. But this thing is so good. One of the best normal types you can grab in League format in my opinion. This thing can do so many things. A lot of coverage coming from this thing. It can be a Trick Room setter, Thunder Wave, like I said, offensively, it gets Magic-Loop, Pain Split, but the main things you're going to be seeing this thing do is Recover, Toxic Stall, Thunder Wave, Tri-Attack, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt. That's really what this thing does. It's not going to be used for much, but it does its job extremely well. Does it get Baton Pass? It does not. Because I saw Agility there and wonder if you could pass stats, but that's banned in this league anyway, I'm pretty sure. But yes, I'm really happy I got to grab Porygon 2. It fits really well with the team I have now. That fighting type weakness is cured with Mega Sableye, and Porygon 2 can take fairy type attacks pretty well that Mega Sableye doesn't like, but this thing is so good. I've seen a lot of people use Porygon 2 really effectively in past leagues, like Lord using it in the EBL, Cyan using it in the PWL. Really good Pokemon in my opinion. I'm very happy I got to pick this thing up. This is one of the few Pokemon I really wanted to use, which is, I think I actually grabbed this thing round 3 or round 4. But yeah, I'm really happy I got to pick it up. And I'm glad I picked it up as soon as I did because there was a lot of people that wanted it because I sniped a few people. So I'm very happy I did that. So then coming into the next tier C pick we have, like I said, since I could not get Florges, I really wanted Wish support for the one Pokemon I have in my roster is really well with Wish support. So, and when I grabbed a Lomomola, oh, well, I just spoiled the pick there, but yeah, I grabbed a Lomomola. I really wanted Wish support, and I grabbed it around round 5 or 6. It was really light, and I was looking at it, what other Wish supporters are available, and both Vaporeon and Alomomola were open, but I was originally going to grab Vaporeon, but that did get sniped for me, but I got Alomomola, which is good enough. Base 165 HP, it's monstrous on this thing. This thing doesn't do much. It really just Wish spams, Scald, Protect, and Toxic. That's really all this thing does. Maybe you'll see Knockoff on it a few times, or maybe even Calm Mind. But really, this thing is just the Wish support Pokemon. That's what its job is. That's what it does best, and it does it so well. As you can tell, my draft right now is extremely bulky, really bulky, with Mega Sableye, Togekiss, Porygon 2, and now Alomomola, which I did get the Wish support I really wanted. It's not the Wish supporter I did originally want, but it can do its job very well. It does the work. I've seen people use Alomomola very good in the past, especially in the PWL. For those PWL people watching, they know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm not mad that I got Alomomola. Not my first pick, but hey, not mad at all. So, coming into tier D. This is another Pokemon that was really crucial to my squad, and this Pokemon completed my Mega Sableye core, and this is the Pokemon I was talking about that is really good with Wish support. But for tier D, I decided to grab Registeel. Registeel fits this team so good in my opinion, because as of now, I didn't really have anything to tank Fairy type attacks, and Registeel can do that very well. Like a Mawile, not going to be a problem, I got 150 defense. Sylveon, not going to be a problem, I got 150 special defense. So this thing can basically beat all the fairies out there. This thing, it's kind of a one-dimensional Pokemon. You really know what it's going to do. I actually think I really want to try a weakness policy rock polish on this thing. I think it could be really fun to use. It has base 75 attack, which is not good, but for a weakness policy Pokemon, it's pretty good. But like I said, this thing fits so good on my squad right now, because as I said before, I didn't really have anything to take fairy type attacks, and I really wanted Registeel. I think I actually grabbed this thing round 4. Yeah, I think I grabbed this round 4 because I really wanted it. It was very crucial to my team. There wasn't really many steel types I thought fit the job as well. I was looking at Bronzong as well, but that got taken anyway early on before Registeel was around. But this thing, it can do its job pretty well. It gets the elemental punches. It can superpower, explosion if I want a normal gym, explosion some things. But I'm very happy I got it on my team. Fits the team really well. But moving in to the next pick, we have Tier E. Now my Tier E pick was actually my final pick, but actually I'm kind of excited to use this Pokemon if it gets much showtime. But for my Tier E Pokemon, I decided to use or grab Behem. Behem is a very interesting Pokemon. I feel like I'm going to have a lot of fun using this thing. It actually has it's a lot better than people think, in my opinion. It has decent stats, not the best, which is why it's so low. It's because the only thing that's really good on this thing is its special attack. Everything is just mediocre. Its special defense is not bad either with 95, but it's so slow. It doesn't get much usage because of that. With 40 speed, but this thing does get analytic, and with the base 125 special attack, it actually hits extremely hard. But this thing can do a couple different things. It can be a Calm Mind Sweeper. Actually thinking that's Nasty Plot as well. Yes, it does get that. I'm not sure how much I'll use this thing. Does it get Dazzling Gleam? No, it does not. Rip. But I think it'll show up to like 1 or 2 battles, and I think it'll put in the work for those couple battles it does show up in. Like I said, this was my last pick of the draft. I just wanted something fun, so I needed a Psychic type as well, so I just decided to grab this thing. I was actually looking at Musharna as well, but I had enough bulk on my team as is. I needed offense, and Behem has a very good special attack stat with the analytics, so I was like, alright, you know what, we'll just grab this thing. It looks fun to use. Hopefully I do get to use it once in a while, and like I said, I did need a Psychic type. So, yeah. Then moving into the other free picks. Now, this next Pokemon I actually grabbed this thing around 4 or 5, I think, and I was very shocked it was still available. I needed a good electric type, and when I saw this thing was still available, I decided to grab it. We grabbed Xurkitree for our first free slot, and this is my, I forgot the word already. God dang it. What's the word? It's one of my Z users. It's the Super Z user. And the reason why I made it my Super Z user is because of Z Hypnosis. This thing can be really good with that. Also, Z Rain Dance. There's that option as well. But I needed a good electric type, and I really wanted some offense on my squad. So Xurkitree was still there, and Xurkitree is also a really good Scarf user with the base 83 speed. It's not bad by all means, but if I'm going to use speed on this thing, I think I'm going to go with Z Hypnosis instead. It might not be the most reliable thing, especially with the sleep missing, but I think it'll pay out for me at least one battle in the league. By the way, there's 12 weeks in this season. I forgot to mention that before the video. But this thing gets a lot of coverage for its weaknesses. It gets Power Whip and Energy Ball for the ground types, and I think it gets... well, that's really it. That's all it's weak to, is just ground. It's an electric type, just pure electric. But yeah, this thing could eat and also be a Tail Glow Sweeper. Maybe I want to go like Sub Tail Glow, Thunderbolt, Energy Ball 1 week. That could be a really good set as well. But Xurkitree is another Pokemon I really wanted to use in a long time in a league, and I grabbed it here. This thing has a monstrous 130 special attack stat, which is nothing to sleep on. Very excited to use this thing, not to mention its shiny looks sick. I don't have it on the screen for you, but I'm on Showdown right now, and I'm looking at it, and it's pretty sick. Xurkitree, like I said, it's one of the Pokemon I really wanted to use in League format. I feel like Xurkitree is one of those Pokemon that can be really good on the right team, and I feel like I do have the right team that can support Xurkitree, but I'm really happy to use this thing, especially as my, I keep forgetting the word. What is it? The other Z user. As my Super Z user, Z Hypnosis I think will be really good. Then moving on to my next free pick, I decided these last 3 picks were actually some of my last picks in the draft, my last round picks. But for my next free slot, I decided to grab up Blaziken. Now before you say, Speed Boost Blaziken is not allowed on this thing, but I still feel like it can be really good even without it. It does have 80 speed, which is great for using in a Scarf, but this thing has really good attack stats with 120 attack, 110 special attack. I can use this thing physical or special if I want to. I'll probably be using it physical though. I wanted a good fire, a good lower tier fire type, and I said to grab Blaziken. I also didn't have a fighting type as well, which is just a plus, but this thing can hit really hard. Gets Flare Blitz, high jump kick, really good stab on this thing, especially with base 120 attack, but I cannot use Speed Boost unfortunately with this thing, so I'll probably have to run this thing Scarf most weeks, but it's a really good Scarf user. Base 80 speed is really good for any Scarf user. My team is not that fast, but I have a lot of good Scarf Pokemon like Kieran Black, Xurkitree, Blaziken now, and some of these last 2 Pokemons are really good Scarf user as well. Blaziken is also a very fun Pokemon. In my opinion, I think I will have fun using, so I'm looking forward to using this guy. Don't know how much usage I get. I never use fire types that much in leagues, so we'll see. Not sure, but this guy is a fighting type as well, and I do use fighting types pretty often, so who knows what Blaziken can do for the squad. But moving on to my second to last free pick. Now, this thing, I needed a good solid type, or good rock type, or not rock, ground type. And I also needed a poison type, but I was mainly looking for a ground type. And I was looking around, and I noticed that these 2 pairs of Pokemon were still available, and that is Nidoqueen and Nidoking. But I decided to grab Nidoking, because Nidoking I felt like is more defensively, and Nidoking is more offensively, so I decided to grab that. Nidoking can do a lot of things. It's a really good wall breaker, especially with Sheer Force. I can slap a Life Orb on this thing and not have to worry about recoil damage. And like I said, this thing can also be a really good Scarf user with 85 speed, but I'll probably be using this thing as Life Orb with the Sheer Force. This thing can do many things. It can be physical or special. Most people use this thing special because of all the coverage it gets. For example, Thunderbolt, Fire Blast, Avalanche, Sucker Punch for some priority. So this can do a lot of things. And I'm really excited to use Nidoking. I think he'll get a lot of showtime. Just because how good this Pokemon is, and I was really shocked it lasted as long as it did, so I decided to scoop it up. Like I said, I was looking for a good ground type, and it was half poison, which was a plus, because I still didn't have a poison type. And this thing is really good offensively, especially with the Sheer Force. I'm really excited to use this thing. Very versatile Pokemon. It can be run many different sets. If I want to go Hone Claws, that's an option as well. But yeah, really excited to use this thing. Then for my last pick, but this wasn't my last pick in the draft, this was just my last free pick. I think it was my second to last round pick though, but I needed an offensive grass type, and the reason why I say offensive grass type is because most grass types are defensive, and my team was already defensive enough, so I decided to grab an offensive one, but there's not many offensive grass type options. But I decided to grab Sceptile. Oh wait, crap! Oh no! Sorry about that. My webcam wasn't on the layout because I am using OBS for this. But yeah, back to Sceptile now. This is actually the fastest Pokemon I have in my roster. I was looking at either Virizion or this thing, and when I looked at Sceptile's speed stat, it kind of is what sold me the deals because my team is not very fast at all. So I kind of wanted that speed with Sceptile, and with max speed, naive nature or timid, this thing reaches base, 372 speed, which is really good. But I don't know how much I'll use Sceptile. It's just an okay Pokemon. I really just picked it up for that speed tier. That's really it. And like I said, I was looking for an offensive grass type, and this thing can kind of do that pretty well. I guess it could be a setup sweeper with Swords Dance, but that's really it. It doesn't get the best abilities with. I mean, Burden is pretty good, but it gets Overgrow like most of the grass starters. But there's not really much this thing does. Like I said, I really just picked Sceptile for that offensive grass typing and for the speed. That's really it. But yes, I do have Sceptile and both Blaziken, which you want to laugh at that. I think that's funny. But yeah, that's really it on my draft. Really very defensive picks. That's really it though. I really like this pick. This was not my original plan from the start. I was originally going to pick like Mega Diancie and all that stuff, but fortunately that did not happen since Diancie did get sniped for me. But I'm honestly very happy with my picks now. Very defensive, and if you guys know me, I do like defense. And we also have pretty good offense in there with like Kieran Black, Xurkitree, Nidoking, Blaziken, and even Beam for a little bit. But yeah, that's really it. I don't know. Week 1 starts January 1st, so 2018. And it goes to January 1st to January 7th, I think. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's when week 1 is January 1st. And I fight, let me find his team name, BionicSoup and the ADL Red Racks. And this guy's, I won't spoil it. Actually, it doesn't even matter. This is the Mega Diancie team that got sniped for me, so this guy does the Mega Diancie. But yeah, I'm really happy about this team. I'm really happy to join this league. Thanks, TJ, for starting it up. But yeah, that's really it. If you guys like our draft or you have any opinions on it, make sure you tell me down in the comments below. But I'm going to get the heck out of here. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to click the button down below. I'll see you guys later.